So welcome back. So this class we are going to discuss the gastrointestinal disorders. Already in the previous session we have completed up to the vomiting. So this session, jaundice, okay, rest of the diseases we are going to discuss. The first one is the jaundice, manjakamalai, the jaundice. So listen, so the focal organ is the liver. So that liver is affected. So the jaundice, that liver not working properly, that liver is affected. So liver, that organ, you know that is liver, which is the largest exocrine gland that secrete bile. So if it is affected, so what is the main function? Not only it produces the enzymes for that is bile juice for the digestion process, some other functions also we have discussed. So that liver which is called the graveyard for RBC, the aged and defective RBCs which are buried in the liver. So if the liver is affected, so that give hemoglobin, that pigments which are not removed, so which are not buried. So okay, so that pigments which are accumulated, so that hemoglobin pigment and the other pigments, bile pigments which are accumulated in the blood. So that the color of the eye, because of the accumulation of that pigments, that color of the eye and skin turned into yellow. That color is changed. So yellow color. So that condition is called jaundice. So it is because of why this condition takes place. So because of the viral infection. So viral hepatitis, it is due to the viral infection. Hepatitis B virus, that name of the virus is hepatitis B. So you know, hepatitis, itis means inflammation. Itis, inflammation. Itis, okay, itis. So itis, inflammation in the hepatic liver, that term hepatic, that word related to liver. Okay. So because of the failure of the liver, it failure to perform the function, so that pigments which are accumulated, so that eye and skin becomes yellow. Manjakamalai, manjalaid, eye becomes yellow, skin. So it is due to the virus, hepatitis B virus. Hepatitis B virus that causes the jaundice. So okay, next disease is the liver cirrhosis. So this is also another disease that the focal organ is the liver cirrhosis. So what is the condition? What are the symptoms? How this liver cirrhosis takes place? So that it is a chronic disease. It is a chronic disease, that a chronic degeneration of that hepatic cells. The chronic means two words, terminologies you should know. One is a chronic and another is the acute. Acute means sudden. Acute means sudden. Chronic means over a long period of time. Okay, acute and chronic. Acute means sudden. So something happened, so all of a sudden, immediately. So but acute, this word is a terminology. This means, so certain diseases, something which is happening over a long period of time. So here, the liver cirrhosis, the degeneration and destruction of the liver cells. Okay, liver cells, that is made up of hepatic cells. It is the liver is made up of a special kind of secretory cells that is called hepatic cells. Liver cells, that is hepatic cells. So the hepatic cells, which is the main secretory unit, so that hepatic cell or liver cells, so which gradually that degenerates and destroys, gradually, கொஞ்சம் கொஞ்சமா அந்த hepatic cells degenerate. கொஞ்சம் கொஞ்சமா அப்படியே டேமேஜ் ஆயிட்டே வந்துட்டு இருக்கும். So that hepatic cells, very important, that hepatic cells that become into the scar cells or fibrosis. Okay, so that the fibrosis, you know, that liver cells which are soft and spongy in nature, so but that hepatic cells converted into that fiber like, okay, it is a fiber like, it's scar tissue, hard, that becomes a normal hepatic cells replaced by the parenchyma cells. That condition is called, clinically that condition is called fibrosis. So normal that hepatic, that liver cells or hepatic cells are converted into pancreas, that is parenchyma cells. Parenchyma cells. Okay, that converted into parenchymatic cells. Okay, normal cells. So that is different from that parenchyma cells, different from the liver cells or hepatic cells. So that condition is called fibrosis. Maybe separately asked 2 marks, what is fibrosis? So because of the chronic degeneration, destruction of that hepatic cells, so which are converted into normal parenchyma cells, that is called fibrosis. It is also called deserted or scarred liver. Deserted, not perform. So the liver cells, hepatic cells totally damaged, so that liver not perform the function, unable to produce the bile juice. So its nature is altered, changed, so deserted. Okay, that condition. Also scarred liver. Scarred liver. So scar tissue, if suppose any wound, so after healing that, so that particular place, the tissues of the particular that region is become hard, it's different from the normal tissue, so that is called scar. Adipata in a scar form aidundrom. So the scar is different from the normal cells, normal tissues. So and the mari or mari rough. Okay, that fibroids are produced, that is called scarred liver. So liver totally so loses its that capacity. So this is a most serious disorder, dangerous. So liver disorder. So what is the reason? Okay, what is the reason for this liver cirrhosis? Infection, maybe the viral infection, or consumption of poison, any toxic substances, toxins, that is also reason. Consumption of the poison and malnutrition. It is a malnutrition. You know that our food should have all that nutrients, all the components, namely carbohydrate, protein, fat, vitamin, minerals, roughages and water. Okay, that food is called balanced diet. One who consumes the unbalanced diet over a long period of time, unbalanced diet, so that causes, that leads to malnutrition. Utachattu kuraipadu, sattu. Not consuming nutritious food. Not consuming nutritious food. Okay, adam. Nutrition illada food, malnutrition. Okay, that may be the reason. Consuming okay, so under nutritious food, and this is the main reason for most of the liver cirrhosis is because of this alcoholism. So consumption of the alcohol, okay, liquor, okay, consumption of the liquor, okay, you know, alcohol, sarayam adu mari kudikkirathu. So most dangerous. It is a toxin that goes to. So why that alcohol that damages liver? You know that any other substances, other than the food, even the food, everything directly after digestion that goes to the liver, that liver scan everything, the scanning procedure. So it is a scan. So it allow only that useful substances. Okay, and that alcohol, it is foreign to the body. So because of this, that everything that directly goes to the liver, so this alcohol damages the hepatic cell or liver cells. That's why there is a fibrosis. So this is a major cause, that alcoholism is the major cause. Okay, and second is the infection. This is second position actually. This is the major, alcoholism is the major cause. It's a major cause for the liver cirrhosis. So these are the reasons for liver cirrhosis. I hope you can understand what is liver cirrhosis. Normal, that hepatic cells are converted into scar tissues, so that the liver failed its normal function. So that is called deserted, that condition is called deserted liver or scarred liver. So reasons: infection, consumption of the poison, malnutrition, and alcoholism. Consumption of the alcoholism. Okay, that's all. The next disorder. So next disorder, this is one common disorder is, the problem is gallstones. Pittapai kal, the gallstones. That is a stone formed in the gallbladder. The stone formed in the gallbladder is called gallstone. You know, this is the liver. Okay, that secrete the bile juice. That bile juice are taken by the, transported by the hepatic duct. And here there is a sac-like structure is there, a temporary sac-like structure is there. Okay, what is that? That is called, this is called gallbladder. This is a gallbladder. So here in the gallbladder, that bile is stored temporarily. So the stone which are formed in the gallbladder, that stone which is formed in the gallbladder is called gallstones. Pittapai kal adappunnu solluvanga. Okay, eppadi form agudhu? So somebody is thinking that food, okay, some of the stones in our food that goes and block the gallbladder. No. There is no any correlation, there is no any correlation between the that stones which are found in the food and these gallstones. So that the gallstone is formed. Okay, otherwise சாப்பாட்டில் இருக்க கல்லு தான் அங்கே போய் அடைச்சிக்குது அப்படின்னு, that is a myth, false belief. That is the false belief. அந்த சாப்பாட்டு கல்லுக்கும் the gallstoneக்கும் there is no any correlation. Okay, if you have that type of beliefs, it is wrong. It's a false belief. So gallstone is separate. Gallstone is that separate. Okay, now let us discuss how the gallstones are formed. What is gallstone? Okay, I said the bile which are stored in the gallbladder, that bile which are stored in the, so gallbladder, so this is the gallbladder. So here that bile which are stored temporarily. You know the bile, composition of the bile, that bile which is made up of, what are the composition? Already we have discussed. Bile salt, bile pigments, cholesterol, okay, water. So these are the components found in the bile juice. So suppose if the composition is altered, maybe lot of reasons, some metabolic disorders or any toxic substances. Okay, because of some reasons that composition of the bile is altered, so that bile, that liquid bile becomes, it is a precipitated. That is precipitated. அப்போ என்ன ஆயிடும்? கட்டி ஆயிடும். So that is called the gallstone. That is crystallized. Okay, the crystallized in the gallbladder. In the gallbladder, that bile is crystallized. Okay, crystallized. Which is crystallized? So that components like cholesterol, the components like cholesterol which is crystallized and form a stone. That is the stone. See, for your you can for your easy understanding, I am telling one illustration. Milk is liquid. Milk is liquid. You put some drops of lime juice, or you add some amount of salt you add with milk. Do you understand? Take milk and add few drops of lime, okay, lime juice or the salt. What will happen? What will happen? Yeah. So that milk, that it precipitated, it gets precipitated, coagulated, கெட்டியாயிடும், திரிஞ்சிச்சு. That condition, அதான் milk, பால் திரிஞ்சிருச்சுன்னா மாறுச்சு. அது condition is altered. அதான் திரிஞ்சு போச்சு. தமிழில் சொல்லுவீங்களா, திரிதல்னா மாறுதல். அதான் பால் திரிஞ்சிடுச்சு. அப்போ that fluidity, it loses its fluidity and becomes precipitated. Similarly here, the bile juice, that composition is altered. So it precipitated and crystallized and it becomes harder and harder. அப்போ என்ன பண்ணும்? Listen. So this is the gallbladder. This is cystic duct, and so it coming to where? Joins with the hepatopancreatic duct and which joins with the that small intestine, that duodenal region of the small intestine. So this precipitate, this stone, it's gradually moves and block here. Maybe it block here in the cystic duct, even in the cystic duct itself that block, so that it blocks that passage, that track, so that the bile cannot be flows. So cannot be supplied. That the supply of the bile is blocked. As a result, there is a pain. Okay, that blocks the passage any place, or here in the hepatopancreatic duct at any region. So that precipitation, so that stone, it may block the passage, obstruction. So that is called it obstruction, tadai. So that block that duct, maybe the cystic duct or the bile duct or hepatopancreatic duct, so that there is a blockage, though that bile is not drained, which is accumulated in the gallbladder itself. Okay, as a result, some pain, something. What are the side effects? What are the side effects? Causing pain, it causes pain, jaundice and pancreatitis. So these are the effects of that block. If it is blocked, there is a pain that causes pain, severe pain. That is particularly apprehending the food. So apprehending the food. So because apprehending, so your that digestive gland start producing the enzymes. After eating food, so that liver secrete bile, so that bile or it cannot it is freely deliver. So it is stagnated. So as a result, there is a pain and jaundice. Okay, jaundice, manjakamala. Once again, so that bile which is not delivered, which is accumulated in that produced bile which is accumulated in the liver, so that liver get damaged. So that is called jaundice, and also pancreatitis. So the pancreas also blocked in the hepatopancreatic region. Here, when it is the duct, hepatopancreatic duct, so that the hepatic duct and pancreatic duct, common duct. So this is the pancreas. So here, suppose if it is blocked here, so that the pancreas also, so unable to discharge the pancreatic juice, so that pancreas get damaged. That is called pancreatitis. Inflammation in the pancreas is called itis. Itis means inflammation. So pancreas inflammation, pancreatitis, jaundice. Okay, so jaundice, pancreatitis and pain. Okay, pain. So these are the symptoms for the gallstone. Okay, gallstone, that stone in the gallbladder. Okay, so I am repeating once again. So that stone, it is formed of the crystallization or the precipitation of the cholesterol that found in the bile juice. So why it get precipitated? Various reasons, maybe metabolic disorder or composition may be altered. So because of these reasons, there is a gallstone, that gallstone is formed. Fine. The next disorder is appendicitis. Itis, inflammation in the appendix, that is called appendicitis. Appendicitis. Hereafter don't say appendix. Appendix is a vermiform, kudal wall, chinada irukum. That's appendix. The inflammation in the appendix is called appendicitis. Itis, inflammation. Okay. So listen, that inflammation in the vermiform appendix. Inflammation of the vermiform appendix is called appendicitis. So what is the what is the effect? It causes severe abdominal pain. பையன் ஸ்கூலுக்கு வந்திருப்பான், அப்படியே லஞ்சுக்கு அப்புறம் பயங்கர சிவியர் பெயினாக இருக்கும். That is the lower abdominal region. That is also where, not this is abdomen, lower right side, that right lower abdominal region. ஓகே, நீங்கள் இந்த பெல்ட் போட்டிருக்கிறது ரைட் சைடில் லோயர் அப்டாமினல் ரீஜனில் பயங்கர பெயின் இருக்கும். அக்யூட் பெயின், சிவியர் பெயின், அக்யூட் சிவியர் பெயின் இஸ் தேர். சடன், அக்யூட் மீன்ஸ் that sudden pain in the abdominal region, இருக்கும். Why? அந்த பாருங்க, this is ஏன் சொல்றோம், that is small intestine, this is small intestine. Okay, small intestine, இங்க large intestine, இதான் cecum region, large intestine. So இங்க தான் that vermiform appendix is there. So இங்க தான் vermiform appendix. So this is the small intestine, இதான் large intestine, and the cecum region இங்க தான், this is appendix. அப்ப இந்த some bacteria, okay, so found in this large intestine because of the irregular bowel movements, that bacteria which reside, okay, so which comes reside and multiplies enormous number. It multiplies, that causes inflammation, and that causes inflammation, that is called appendicitis. What is the treatment? Okay sir, what is the treatment? So what is the treatment? So what is the treatment for appendicitis? So that surgery, so that is the one and only treatment, removal of appendix by doing a surgery, operation பண்ணி என்ன பண்ணும், appendix remove பண்ணணும். Okay, immediately பையன் வயிற்று வலிக்குதுன்னு போயிருப்பான், ஹாஸ்பிட்டலில் போயிருப்பாங்க, ஆப்ரேஷன், 4 நாளைக்கு ஸ்கூல் வர மாட்டான். என்னன்னா அவனுக்கு ஆப்ரேஷன் நல்லா தானே இருந்தான். It should be immediately removed. If not, what will happen? Listen, if not, so in the large intestine, it is bulged, it is swollen and burst, that it ruptures. இதான் பாடிக்குள்ள இருக்கு, it rupture ஆயிடும். அப்ப ரப்சர்னா என்ன ஆகும், that fecal matters which are contaminated, in the abdomen, that inner wall of the abdomen, that peritoneal membrane, that is called peritonitis. That condition is called peritonitis. But that means, so if it is delayed, that surgery is delayed, so that it swells further and further and burst வெடிச்சிடும். So that fecal matter, the large intestine தான, undigested food materials, fecal matters எல்லாம் என்ன பண்ணும், that contaminate the that body cavity, that peritoneal membrane, so that causes infection. So that is called peritonitis, very important, that is called peritonitis, peritoneal inflammation, itis, that is called peritonitis, that causes peritonitis. Okay. Okay, then the next disorder is the hiatus hernia or diaphragmatic hernia. Okay, the next disorder, hiatus hernia or the diaphragmatic hernia. So what is the reason why this hernia, this type of disorders occurs, hernia? Okay, that hernia, so if the membrane ruptures, hernia, if the membrane ruptures, okay, the membrane, that intestine, so it is coming out, okay, or projects out through that membrane. It's a pakka inner, that peritoneal membrane which packs the intestine. Suppose that membrane is get damaged, okay, through that damaged side, that intestine, it is protruding out, it coming out, okay, that is called normally hernia, kudal irakam. That is membrane hold. அப்போ அது லூஸ் ஆகிடுச்சுன்னா டேமேஜ் ஆகிடுச்சுன்னா என்ன பண்ணும், தட் இன்டெஸ்டைன் இஸ் கெட்டிங் டவுன், கம்மிங் டவுன். ஓகே, அதான் குடல் இறக்கம், தட் இஸ் ஹெர்னியா. ஸோ ஹையட்டஸ் ஹெர்னியா, இட் இஸ் actually that structural abnormality, in the superior part of the stomach, that superior part of the stomach, okay, that is superior part of the stomach, it get damaged, that superior part of the stomach, it get damaged. So this is the stomach, actually this is the stomach. Okay, here this region, okay, this region here, that superior part of the that stomach, so it get damaged and protruded. Here there is a diaphragm is there, here diaphragm, you know, that is a membrane. Diaphragm is a membrane that separates the thoracic cavity and the abdomen, thoracic and abdomen, inga membrane irukkudu. So because the structural abnormality of the stomach, so inga abnormalities enna pannum, that protruded slightly in the diaphragm. In the diaphragm வந்து என்ன பண்ணும், இங்க protruding பண்ணும், இங்க வந்து பாத்தீங்கன்னா diaphragm போய் டச் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கும், protrude, okay, slightly above the diaphragm. அப்ப diaphragmக்கு மேல அப்படி வந்திருக்கும். அப்ப diaphragm வந்து இடத்துல வந்து பாத்தீங்கன்னா இப்படி இருக்கும். Because in this region that stomach occupies, because it is a structural abnormality of the upper side of the stomach. So it protrudes, என்ன ஆகும், அப்படியே வந்து என்ன பண்ணும், protrude, அப்படியே முட்டிட்டு இருக்க மாதிரி இருக்கும். Okay, slightly above the diaphragm, it is a muscle wall, you know, that muscle wall that separate the thoracic cavity and abdomen, a muscle wall, that is diaphragm. What is the reason? What is the reason for this hiatus hernia? What is the reason? Injury, the damage, accident, அந்த மாதிரி ஆச்சுன்னா injury, okay, or any other damage may weaken the muscle tissue. என்ன பண்ணலாம், இந்த diaphragm அந்த muscle, இந்த muscles வந்து டேமேஜ் ஆயிருக்கும், stomach walls டேமேஜ் ஆயிருக்கும். Okay, around the that stomach damage ஆயிட்டு அது வந்து என்ன swell ஆயிடும். Or too much of pressure repeatedly on the muscles around the stomach. என்ன பண்ணுது, ரொம்ப weight lifting or frequent coughing, vomiting, okay, weight lift, அப்புறம் வந்து பாத்தீங்கன்னா straining bowel movements during the defecation, more pressure for defecation. Okay, in that conditions, because of these reasons, so here that upper side of the stomach, it is abnormality. See, listen here, this is the diaphragm and this is the stomach. Here it is the stomach. Okay, here that upper region, so this region, that upper part of the stomach, so get damaged. So because of this too much of pressure, damage, that pressure at the time of coughing, vomiting, straining during the bowel movement, defecation, and heavy weight lifting, more pressure to lift the weight. So these were the reasons for the hiatus hernia. These are the reasons for Hiatus hernia. Then next is the heartburn. Next, heartburn. Okay, see, what is heartburn? நெஞ்செரிச்சல். ஓகே, நெஞ்செரிச்சல். ஸ்டொமக் பர்னா வயிற்றெரிச்சல். ஓகே, அப்போ heartburn. ஓகே, இங்க பாருங்க, லிசன், திஸ் இஸ் ஸ்டொமக், திஸ் இஸ் ஸ்டொமக், நார்மலாக இதான் ஸ்டொமக். இங்கே வந்து பார்த்தீங்கன்னா என்ன ஆயிருக்கு, இங்கே பாருங்கள், லிசன் ஹியர், இங்கே டயஃப்ராம் நார்மலாக இப்படி தானே இருக்கும், நார்மலாக இப்படி தான் இருக்கும். ஸோ இங்கே பாருங்க, ஸோ தட் this is the heartburn, the people, those who are having the hiatus hernia. Okay, usually that people, those who are having hiatus hernia, அவங்களுக்கு இது இருக்கும். காமனாக வந்து பார்த்தீங்கன்னா இந்த heartburn இருக்கும். ஓகே, heartburn. அப்போ என்ன ஆகும்னு வந்து பார்த்தீங்கன்னா இந்த esophageal region வந்து there is inflammation, அப்போ properly not works properly. இங்கே பாருங்க, அப்போ என்ன பண்ணும், that the content from the stomach, okay, the enzymes along with the food, பாருங்க arrow mark பாருங்க, that is என்ன, that comes to the esophageal region. அப்போ என்ன பண்ணும், that damages the, so that acids and enzyme present in this stomach, that damages the esophagus. அப்போ esophageal region damage பண்ணும். Okay, ulceration. So because of the acid content of the stomach, அப்பதான் damage, அப்பதான் எரிச்சல், அப்பதான் இந்த, so that the food pipe is get eroded, and so that individual feel pain. Okay, feel pain, that is எரிச்சல், வலி இருக்கும், எரிச்சல் இருக்கும், heartburn, நெஞ்சு எரியுதுன்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. So that is நெஞ்சு எரிச்சல், that is heartburn. அதுக்கு இன்னும் ஒரு நார்மலாக வந்து heartburn வரதுக்கு வந்து சாப்பிட்டோன்னா படுக்கக்கூடாது, ஃபுல்லாக ஈட் பண்ணக்கூடாது நைட்டில், பர்டிகுலர்லி நைட். இஃப் யூ ஓவர் ஈட், வாட் வில் ஹேப்பன், ஓவர் ஈட் பண்ணுவீங்க, அப்போ என்ன ஆகும், பண்ணிவிட்டு உடனே என்ன பண்ணுவீங்க, தூங்கிடுவீங்க, அப்போ ஃப்ளாட் ஆகிடும். ஸோ இப்படி நம்ம அப்சைட் இப்படி இருந்தாலும் ஒன்றும் ஆகாது. இது வந்து there is no chance, less chance to return back to the esophagus. நம்ம படுத்துருவோம், அப்போ என்ன பண்ணும், அப்போ என்ன, easily that food content reaches the esophageal region easily. So that acid, you know, that HCl secreted in the stomach, acid secrete ஆகும். So that acid should get damaged. ஸோ ஆல்ரெடி சார் நீங்கள் கேட்கலாம், சார் ஸ்டொமக்கில் இருக்குது ஆசிட், அதையே டேமேஜ் பண்ண மாட்டேன்து, பட் ஈசோஃபேகஸ்க்கு வந்து டேமேஜ் பண்ணுது, கேளுங்க. யா, ஆல்ரெடி தட் ஸ்டொமக் இஸ் ஹைலி ப்ரொடெக்டட் வித் தி மியூக்கஸ் மெம்பரேன். So that stomach is designed, so far it is designed, so that mucous membranes that form a coating. But here there is no any thick protective layer, because the esophagus performs only the conduction of the food by the peristaltic movement. Otherwise, no, that the enzymes are secreted. Okay, that's why naturally, so that esophagus is not so much protected, because there is no digestion. Simply the function of the esophagus is simply conduction of the food substances, nothing, no absorption, no digestion, nothing will takes place. That is the main reason for the heartburn. Okay, see, the contents of the food is coming, so like reverse asthma, that is that peristalsis, reverse peristalsis. So that causes the heartburn, right? The next disorder is the diarrhea. Next is diarrhea. You know diarrhea, loose motion. Diarrhea, it is a loose motion. Dysentery, diarrhea. Okay, vaithala poradhu. See, listen, this is most common. This is the most common disorder. So that diarrhea. Why? So our intestine, it is prone to infection. When we eat food and drink the liquids, water, so that microbes like that pathogen, disease producing microbes like bacteria, virus, okay, and other, okay, that pathogens which goes along with the food, and goes and that stayed in the intestinal region. So intestine, so it stayed in the intestine, particularly that colon colon, the large intestine. Okay, these microbes damages the that is large intestine. So there is a mucous membrane is there, that protective membrane is there. Okay, so that damages that mucous membrane. Also, after damaging that, the epithelial cells, the lining get eroded. So lining, see, that lining of the intestine is damaged. That lining of the intestine is get damaged. So that you feel abnormal frequency of the bowel movement. ஒரு மாதிரி இருக்கும், அடிக்கடி வயிறு கடமுடா சொல்றது அதான். Okay, so that என்ன பண்ணும், discharge of the fecal matter, frequent discharge along with the fluids, along with the fluid there is a frequent defecation, that is called diarrhea. அடிக்கடி defecation நடக்கும் அதான். Also fluid, that fluids that damaged that mucus, இவங்க என்ன பண்ணுவாங்க, அந்த mucus எல்லாம் damage பண்ணுவாங்க. Already there is a mucus. ஏன் mucus damage பண்றாங்க, mucus damage பண்ணாதான் can reach the tissues. Okay, அப்பதான் அவங்க வந்து அந்த intestinal lining அந்த tissuesக்குள்ள போயிட்டு tissuesக்குள்ள bloodக்குள்ள வர முடியும். Then can what is that, distribute to all the bodies. அவங்க எய்ம் வந்து நம்ம பாடி ஃபுல்லா இருக்கணும் அவங்க. ஸோ அவங்க தான் என்ட்ரி பாயிண்ட். இங்கே வந்தவொடனே என்ன பண்ணுவாங்க, இந்த மியூக்கஸ் டேமேஜ் பண்ணுவாங்க அண்ட் தென் டேமேஜஸ் தி லைனிங். அந்த லைனிங்கில் இருப்பாங்க சம்டைம், ஆர் தே வில் சர்வைவ் இன் தி தட் லைனிங், தட் இன்னர் லைனிங் ஆஃப் தி இன்டெஸ்டைன். ஸோ பண்ணுறப்ப என்ன பண்ணும், அப்போ இர்ரெகுலர் பவுல் மூமெண்ட், பிகாஸ் ஆஃப் தட் அப்நார்மல் இர்ரெகுலர் பவுல் மூமெண்ட்ஸு. அப்போ தான் ஒரே வந்து என்னது, அதான் ஸ்டொமக் அப்செட்ன்றோம். அப்போ அப்செட் ஆகிடும். Okay, and that is loss of water. If not treated, that individual may die. That individual may die because of the dehydration. Because of the dehydration, hydro water liquid removal, loss of water, that individual die. So, what is the prevention? We have to rehydrate. We have to consume, drink water, not simple water, because that electrolytes are lost. So that some powder electrolyte is there, or in your home remedy add sugar and this is very important, some salt and sugar you dissolve in water and make a solution, and how to give the affected, that is rehydration. That is called rehydration. Rehydration. Yeah, the treatment is oral rehydration therapy. That is hydration. I have to give the amount of water. Okay, that is called rehydration. Oral திரும்ப oral hydration therapy. And after that antibiotic have to be give to kill that particular pathogen. The next disorder is the peptic ulcer. Peptic ulcer. So ulcer means that is, what is that, a wound. If the wound is inside the intestine, that is called ulcer. Peptic ulcer, that peptones, okay, peptidase, that because of the enzymatic action, sometimes there is damage in the inner lining. That ulcer, so caused in the stomach and intestine, is called a peptic ulcer. Okay, listen, see, what is ulcer? The eroded area. The eroded area. The lining gets damaged. Where? In the stomach as well as the duodenum. So, in the stomach as well as the duodenum, the stomach as well as duodenum. So, that lining, this is, see, this is that stomach and the duodenum, duodenum. So, here already you know that is, there is a pakka, that mucous membrane. Mucous membrane, so that protects. Okay, so this mucous membrane get damaged. Mucous membrane, so get damaged. Where? In the intestine as well as that duodenal region. That duodenal region. So that lining is eroded, get damaged, that inner mucosal lining, that innermost lining of the stomach and intestine, so get damaged. That is peptic ulcer, that is called Peptic ulcer, also duodenum. That's, listen, very important. The duodenal region, that is damage in the duodenal region. It is a duodenal ulcer. It is common in the age group of the people. 20 to 45 years of people experience this duodenal ulcer. இது காமனா வரும். Duodenal ulcer. Ulcer பெரிய ஒன்றும் ஒரு பெரிய இதெல்லாம் கிடையாது. புரியுதுங்களா? இது டியோடினல் அல்சர். இது கேட்பாங்க 1 மார்க். டியோடினல் அல்சர், it is a common for the people 25 to 45 years. Gastric ulcer, you know gastric means stomach அண்ணா, வயிறு. So gastric ulcer, it is common above the age of 50. 50 வயசுக்கு மேலே வர்றது வயிற்றுல புண்ணு, வயிற்று புண்ணு. நல்லா பண்ணிக்கலாம். ஒரு 25 to 45 years அந்த பீரியடில் அந்த ஏஜ் குரூப்புக்கு வர்றது டியோடினல் அல்சர். ஓகே, duodenum, you know duodenum, after stomach, the U-shaped, that U-shaped region, duodenum, inge varum. So in the region la varum, that duodenal. If the eroding is in the stomach, it's called gastric. Always that gastric word related to stomach. Gastric ulcer is common in the age of 50 years. Duodenal is common in the age group of 25 to 45 years. 1 mark, most frequently asked question. ஓகே, என்ன, வாட் இஸ் தி ரீசன்? என்ன காரணம்? அல்சர் என்ன ரீசனால வருது? ஓகே, ஸோ இஃப் தி தட் இஸ் நாட் டேக் ஃபுட் ரெகுலர்லி, that is also reason. Apart from that, bacteria, this is very 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 important. The bacterial infection, bacterium namely Helicobacter pylori, very important. Helicobacter pylori, it is a bacteria. It is a bacteria. So that bacteria causes the ulcer. அது போயிட்டு என்ன பண்ணும்? It damages the that inner lining. அவங்க Helicobacter pylori. And some tablets like aspirin, uncontrolled use of the aspirin, or certain anti-inflammatory ட்ரக்ஸ், ட்ரக் எடுத்துக்கிட்டிங்கன்னா ஆஸ்பிரின் மாதிரி, வலிக்குன்னா பார்த்தீங்கன்னா தலைவலின்னா அடிக்கடி மருந்து போடுவாங்க, மாத்திரை எடுத்துக்குவாங்க சில பேர் சும்மா. அது மாதிரி நம்ம ஓவர் யூசேஜ் ஆஃப் தி ஆஸ்பிரின் அண்ட் ஆன்டி இன்ஃப்ளமேட்டரி ட்ரக்ஸ் டேப்லெட்ஸ் அது மாதிரி கன்சியூம் பண்ணாலும் வரும். அப்புறம் ஸ்மோக்கிங், ஆல்கஹால், கேஃபின் அப்படின்றது காஃபியில் இருக்கக்கூடிய ஒரு சப்ஸ்டன்ஸ். ஆல்கஹால் கன்சம்ஷன், ஸ்மோக்கிங், and also that psychological stress. ரொம்ப ஸ்ட்ரெஸ்ஸாக இருந்த மன அழுத்தம். என்ன சார், என்ன ஸ்ட்ரெஸ்ஸுக்கும்? ஆமாங்க, பாடி ஸ்ட்ரெஸ் ஆச்சுன்னா தட் physiology will be altered, more acid will be secreted. So more acid will be secreted. So that psychological stress, ரொம்ப கவலைப்பட்டா அல்சர் வரும். கவலைப்படாமல் இருக்க முடியாது, லிமிட்டாக கவலைப்படுங்க. ஓகே, and next is the last is the obesity. Obesity ரொம்ப ஃபேட்டாக இருக்கிறது, more accumulation of the more fat. Okay, excess of body fat in the adipose tissue below the skin, அது adipose tissue fat. So limited amount of fat is needed. இல்லைன்னா அப்புறம் கவோஷியா இருக்கிற மராஸ்மஸ் மாதிரி ஆகிடும். நமக்கு limited amount of the fat, but excess fat புத்தன் ஆகிடும், பிராய்லர் சிக்கன் மாதிரி. அதான், that is accumulation or storage of the excess of fat, கொழுப்பு எங்க? below the skin, in the adipose tissue. நிறைய ப்ராப்ளம் வரும். என்னது? if one is obese, ரொம்ப ஓவர் ஃபேட், that causes induce the hypertension, பிபி அதிகமாயிடும். arthrosclerotic heart disease என்ன பண்ணும்? narrowing எல்லாம் பண்ணுவாங்க. அந்த ஃபேட் போயிட்டு என்ன பண்ணும்? arteries, blood vessels என்ன பண்ணும்? that narrows, that is atherosclerotic heart diseases and diabetes. So these are the effects of the obesity. What are the causes? Genetic disease. நான் நிறைய சாப்பிட மாட்டேன் சார், பட் கொஞ்சமாக சாப்பிட்றேன். எங்கள் ஜென்ரேஷன் எல்லாமே குண்டு சார், எல்லாமே ஒபீஸ். ஸோ தட் ஃபேமிலி, that is genetic. Excess intake of food, maybe consumption of the more food, eating more and more, metabolic disorders, and some hormonal problem, that endocrine problem. So these are the reasons for the obesity. Genetic, overeating, okay, metabolic disorders, and endocrine hormone, that growth hormone. So some of the hormone which secretes more, that causes obesity. Gunda. Okay, and okay, super. How? So that obesity, sir, na normal irukana illa obesa. Now eppadi sir, how I can assess my obesity? How I can assess? The simple formula is there. Anyone can assess their own obesity. Na normal illa gunda sir, enakku romba bayama irukku, na gunda irukken. You need not worry. One formula is there. So that is a BMI, body mass index. With the help of that you can easily assess. How it can be calculated? How you can assess your body mass index, BMI? So listen, it can be assessed by, see formula, weight in kilogram, that formula, BMI formula is equal to weight in kilogram, weight in kg, weight in kilogram, that is divided by height in meter square, height in meter square, height in meter square. Okay, if you divide your weight in kilogram divided by height in meter square, if you divide, you can get one quotient. It should be between 19 to 25, between 19 and 25. So if the quotient which falls between the 19 and 25, you are perfectly all right. If it goes less than 19, you are lean. If it goes greater than 25, you are obese. Na gunda irukkum sir. For example, it is given here, one person of weight 50 kg, that person's weight is 50 kg, his height is 160 centimeter. Imagine that 50 by 160, if you convert in meter, 1.6 whole square. That 50, listen, 50 divided by 1.6 whole square. 1.6 whole square, you can get the quotient 19.5. It is simply a number, no any unit, no any units. Simply it is merely a number. அது ஒரு நம்பர், ஒரு வேல்யூ. ஓகே, ஹியர் பாருங்க, இவருக்கு வந்து என்ன வந்திருக்குது 19.5. so he is perfectly all right. less than 19 is lean, ரொம்ப திரும்ப மாதிரி இருக்காரு. so greater than 25, சார் அவர் குண்டு கொஞ்சம் ஒரு பிளஸ் ஆர் மைனஸ் ஒரு 5 இருந்துச்சுன்னா பிரச்சனை இல்லை. ஒரு 5, 6 நியர்லி 10 வரைக்கும் கூட இருக்கலாம், ஒன்றும் பிரச்சனை இல்லை. ப்ளஸ் ஆர் மைனஸ் ஒரு 10 இருக்கலாம், அது இட் இஸ் நாட் ஸோ ப்ராப்ளம். ஸோ ரொம்ப மோர் 10க்கு மேலே 35, 40 போச்சுன்னா டெய்லி ஒபீஸ் ஹாவ் டு டேக் certain measures. Okay, that's all. Disorders that related to the digestive system completed. So I hope you all enjoyed this session. Thank you.